My name is Chris Tharp, and today I want to talk a little bit about keeping it simple. My girlfriend asked me to make something for her while she was at work yesterday. Normally we work the same shifts, but with everything going on, we're having to separate out the hours a little bit. And I spent most of the day working on my main project, Sweet Pea, and didn't make a lot of progress. So I figured I'd throw something together for her, and I went to send her a little heart thing over Facebook and saw all the hearts pop up, and came up with this. So this is what I ended up with. And play it for a sec. Okay. Yeah, so I just wanted to play it long enough so you'd get an idea of what was going on there and see the color palette change. So, long story short, I threw this together in like 3 hours or so in Playmaker. You can, using Playmaker to tell these guys what to do. I just wanted to do a quick breakdown of the simplicity of this. Essentially, you can see we only have a few objects in the scene, and each scene is a duplicated scene with just a different post-processing profile attached to it to give it those the different color palettes. So each scene is pretty much the same scene. It's a super simple layout. I essentially started out making this little guy. Just click on him. Little heart guy. He is a really basic model. I'm not the best at modeling, but a really basic model I threw together in Blender and then rendered it out, tossed it into here. It's got a super simple finite state machine here. You can see essentially it's set up so that whenever you click on it, I've also built it for Android as well, so you click on it or tap on it on your Android device, it'll jump over to this state, and we will create heart part, which is a particle system using the same base image but just different settings on it, and then destroy itself. And I've got it set up so if they sit for too long, they will destroy themselves automatically. Alright, let me see here. So this has a couple different chunks to it, but for the most part we have the heart itself, which is controlling its programming. It has its polygon collider, and then we have the actual heart itself, or the actual representation, the image. And then we have the tail here, or the string. This is literally, they're just squares, elongated, and then I applied a rigid body to them and a hinge joint, and then just scooched that up and made sure that they're on the connecting points for each one. It's not perfect, but it gets the idea across. Whenever they're bumping into each other, it has some flex. So created that, and then I created a heart spawner. This guy essentially just plays an animation constantly of moving back and forth like that. Stop that. And then I have a finite state machine set up for him to where he has a random wait between 0 and 2 seconds, and somewhere in between that time it will initiate this next state, which will create our heart. So that's how you get those to pop up in those random positions between 2 points, or at least that's how I've done it. It's pretty easy. We've already gone over the animator and timeline editor and whatnot in previous videos, so if you don't know how to do some of this basic stuff, then please just check out some of my previous videos. I think Getting to Know Unity covers a bunch of that. But this guy just bounces back and forth, and while he's doing that, he spawns our little hearts. And I think we can actually, if we select this, pop over here into scene view. There we go. We can see him moving back and forth and then spawning those heart objects. Oh yeah, I guess I should have mentioned the little heart guys themselves. On their rigid body, to get them to go up, all I needed to do was change the gravity scale to a negative. So I just put it at negative 0.3 just to keep them flowing up. Also, kind of interesting, the tail, whenever I first did it, the little tail down here, actually weighed it down. So if you have any problems with that, where you think it should be going up, but you've attached other rigid bodies to it, just remember that weight affects each other, and so you just need to either raise the mass of your heart object or lower the mass of your tail or string objects, which is what I did. And it works out fine. Let me see here. Yeah, so other than that, we have our particles. Now, these are, this is a prefab of the object that gets created whenever you click on one of the hearts. And all it is the same base model here that with a particle effect. I think details-wise on this, the important things to remember is, A, if you want a thing to burst one time and not just keep emitting particles, you want to go down to emission. And I think I covered this previously too, but you just want to make sure that your cycles are set to 1, and then you can actually have a variable count here, which is pretty nice, so that it's not, samey. It provides a little bit of variance in the amount of particles that are created. Another quick thing to remember on that is you have to build a material. So while the heart on my actual little heart objects that float up are their own thing, they're a sprite, essentially, you can't use that with the particle instancing, so you have to actually just build a material, which is not hard to do at all. All you do is just right click in the creator here, in the asset folder, and then go up to create and select material, and then you can name it. A window like this will pop up, and just right up here you want to take your sprite and drop it down into that, and you want to make sure this rendering mode is set to fade if you have any transparency in it, like I do, where it's not a block shaped object. Anyway, once you get your material, you can just drag it right into the material section in the rendering section in the particle tab right here. Other than that, I threw some barriers up here, and these have box colliders attached to them. They essentially just make sure that the balloons or the hearts or whatever you want to call them don't fly all about, and they kind of build up in your play space which I didn't originally have that happening, but I thought it looked cool, and you get some interesting things with it. The only other thing I can think of is the here we go, our post-processing profiles. So all I did was, once I built all that up, I saved the scene. It was just a sample scene. Like I said, I threw this together in like 3 hours. And then I saved a new scene, and my new scene is the same exact scene, except for with this second profile on it. If you're wondering how to switch them out, or how to apply those, you're going to need your post-processing. So you're going to get that in Window, Package Manager, and then it's going to be in there. It's post-processing. And then you'll build these out. I've got a couple things on here that's kind of all over the place. I apologize. But the important thing is right here in the post-processing volume script, whenever you save your new scene, you're going to want to switch that out with its own individual profile. And all I did was snatched up the original and then just hit Control and D, and it duplicated it over. And then I just dragged that right in and changed the settings so that it just changes the color palette is the only difference. So every time the level turns over, it just switches the color palette using the color grading tab here. And then I did that a few more times just to get, more variation and whatnot. And then strung them together in the build settings, I should say. So hopefully you're familiar with building the basic project, but just in case you're not, in your build settings tab, you can go down here. Go right up here and you see scenes and build. If your new scenes that you create aren't in there, you just want to make sure that while you have the scene open that is not in the scenes in build, you just go add open scene and it'll build it in there. And then for the actual transfer of the scenes, I used a timer. I think it's on this guy. Finite State Machine 3. There we go. Oh, that's actually not the right one. Oh, it's on the main camera for sure. There we go. Yeah, I just set up a basic timer, so each round, if you will, lasts for 1 minute, 60 seconds. So I have a state machine that just pops up, wait 60 seconds. After that, you want to load level, and then I've just typed in my name of the scene that I built in there. And that's pretty much the whole project. My girlfriend seemed to like it. I've been having fun playing with it. I might throw it on Itch or something like that. If I do, I'll throw a link in the comments. But let me know if this was helpful at all. If you enjoyed like this type of overview thing. I know it's sort of strange for me to go, here's something I already built. Let's look at it and dissect it a little bit. But I'm still getting used to the YouTube stuff. Anyway, long story short, I've been Chris Tharp, and if you enjoyed this at all, please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, and be safe out there, everybody. Thanks.